Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. I had always known my sister Ashley had a talent for deception. As children, she could cry on demand, charming our parents into believing she was the innocent victim of whatever trouble she'd stirred up. But nothing, absolutely nothing, could have prepared me for the betrayal that unraveled before me. It all started when Ashley announced her so-called charity campaign during dinner one evening. "Caden, you won't believe this," she said, her voice dripping with false sincerity. "My classmate, Lily, is terminally ill. I feel like I have to do something. I'm starting a fundraiser to help with her treatment bills." I raised an eyebrow. Ashley had never been the charitable type. If anything, she spent more time picking out designer shoes than helping people. "That's unexpected," I said cautiously. "How do you know Lily?" "Oh, she's in my science class," she said quickly, flipping her hair over her shoulder. "She doesn't talk much, but I heard from a friend that her family's struggling. I just thought, why not help?" I wanted to believe her, but something gnawed at my gut. Maybe it was the way she avoided eye contact or the fact that she suddenly cared about someone other than herself. Our parents, however, fell for it immediately. "That's my girl," Dad beamed, patting Ashley's shoulder, always thinking of others. Mom's eyes glistened with pride. "Sweetheart, this is incredible. You're an inspiration." I said nothing, watching as Ashley basked in their praise. Over the next few weeks, Ashley's campaign gained traction. Teachers praised her in school assemblies, local businesses donated small amounts, and our parents bragged about her selflessness to everyone they knew. But it wasn't until I checked my bank account one afternoon that I realized the full extent of her deception. $4,300. Gone. My pulse hammered in my ears as I stared at the screen, rereading the transaction history. The money had been transferred to Ashley's charity fund. My hands tightened around my phone as a cold, sickening realization settled in. Ashley had stolen from me. I stormed into her room, my heart pounding. She was sprawled on her bed, scrolling through her phone completely at ease. "Ashley," I said, my voice deadly calm, "did you take $4,300 from my account?" She didn't even flinch. Instead, she smirked. "Relax, Caden," she drawled, setting her phone down. "It was for a good cause." I clenched my fists. "A good cause? You stole from me." Ashley sighed dramatically. "Don't be so dramatic. I needed a big donation to get people to believe in the campaign. And come on, you'll make that back eventually." My stomach churned. "There is no sick girl, is there?" A flash of something crossed her face. Annoyance, maybe, but it was gone just as fast. "What does it matter?" she said with a shrug. "Everyone believes it. And that's the point. Look how much money I've raised. People want to feel good about donating. I'm just giving them the chance." I took a step forward. "You need to return that money now." Ashley's expression hardened. "Or what? You'll tell Mom and Dad?" She stood up, eyes gleaming with something twisted, something dangerous. "Go ahead," she whispered, stepping closer. "Tell them. See who they believe." And that was when it hit me like a freight train. She had already thought this through, already manipulated the situation to ensure that if I spoke up, I'd be the villain. The realization burned. She had me trapped. I barely slept that night. I kept staring at my bank account, the missing $4,300 taunting me. I had worked for years to save that money, sacrificing nights out, extra purchases, even my own comfort, only for Ashley to steal it without a second thought. But what terrified me more than the theft itself was her confidence. She wasn't afraid. She knew she would get away with it. The next morning, I decided to confront our parents. "She stole from me," I said, slamming my phone on the dining table, the transaction details still on the screen. "Look at this. She hacked into my account and transferred the money herself." Ashley, who had been sipping her coffee with all the ease in the world, sighed dramatically and placed her mug down. "Oh, come on, Caden," she said, shaking her head. "You're still on about that. This is embarrassing." Mom's face darkened. "Caden, we already heard Ashley's side of the story. She told us everything." I frowned. "Everything? Then you know she's lying," I snapped. Dad folded his arms. "What we know," he said coldly, is that you tried to take back a donation meant to help a sick girl. The air left my lungs. My whole body went rigid. What? I whispered. Ashley pressed a hand to her chest, looking appropriately wounded. I didn't want to say anything, she murmured, but Caden tried to take the money back. He even accused me of making the whole thing up. I couldn't believe it. Because you did make it up, I exploded. There is no sick girl. The whole campaign is fake. Mom's eyes burned with disappointment. I don't even know who you are anymore, Caden. You always seemed like such a good son, but this is beyond selfish. You stole from me. I yelled, my voice raw. Watch your tone. Dad snapped. We raised you better than this. If you can't respect your own sister's generosity, then maybe you shouldn't be part of this family. I froze. Ashley smiled. It was small, barely there, but I saw it. She had won. I turned to Mom, searching her face for even the slightest hesitation, a flicker of doubt, anything, but there was none. She wasn't looking at a son who had been wronged. She was looking at a disappointment. If that's how you feel, I said quietly, my throat tightening, then I'll go. Mom exhaled sharply as if relieved. Maybe that's for the best, she muttered. I turned, grabbing my coat, no suitcase, no time to pack. I had been cast out of my own home like I was nothing. As I reached the door, I heard Ashley's voice behind me, soft and triumphant. Bye, Caden. Be safe out there. I slammed the door behind me. The wind howled through the empty streets as I trudged forward, my breath visible in the cold night air. My stomach twisted in knots, not just from hunger, but from the weight of betrayal pressing down on me. I had nowhere to go, no one to turn to. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. A single message lit up the screen. Are you okay? I heard what happened. Meet me at Joe's Diner. It was Logan, the one person who never bought into Ashley's lies. Desperation overpowered my pride, and I quickened my pace toward the diner. The neon sign flickered as I stepped inside, warmth and the scent of fresh coffee washing over me. Logan sat in the corner booth, waving me over. Man, you look like hell, he muttered, sliding a plate of fries toward me. I collapsed into the seat, barely managing a bitter chuckle. That's what happens when your family throws you out like trash. His jaw tightened. They'll regret it, but until then, you're not alone. You can stay at my place. I looked at him, searching for pity in his eyes, but found only unwavering loyalty. For the first time that night, something shifted inside me. Hope. Ashley continued to bask in the admiration of those who still believed her lies. She paraded around school with a smug expression, enjoying the attention, convinced that her scheme was flawless. Meanwhile, I worked in silence, gathering irrefutable evidence of her fraud. Every fake receipt, every luxury purchase, and every transaction traced back to the stolen money, carefully documented and organized. The time for reckoning had come. I created an anonymous social media account and began posting screenshots of Ashley's bank transactions, proving how she had funneled charity money into her own pockets. I attached a video compilation of her shopping sprees and the extravagant birthday party she threw for herself using the stolen funds. The backlash was immediate and brutal. Within hours, the post went viral, spreading across school, our neighborhood, and even reaching the local news. Parents who had donated money were enraged, demanding explanations. Teachers who had supported her looked horrified at their misplaced trust. At dinner that night, the atmosphere in our house was suffocating. Ashley's phone buzzed with countless messages, insults, threats, and demands for refunds. She paled as she scrolled through the flood of angry comments. What is this? She whispered, her hands shaking. Our parents looked at her, their expressions unreadable. Then Dad spoke, his voice like ice. You tell us, Ashley. It's fake. Someone's trying to ruin me, she stammered, turning to me, her eyes desperate. Mom's eyes widened as she slowly turned toward her daughter. Is it true? Ashley couldn't speak. The silence was damning. Then the real storm hit. Calls from school administrators, furious donors, and even local authorities poured in. Our parents, now publicly humiliated, scrambled to clean up the mess, but the damage was irreversible. Ashley's once perfect image shattered in an instant, and she had nowhere to hide. She had built her empire on lies, and now that was burning down around her. Ashley's world collapsed within days. The school rescinded all her leadership positions, publicly condemning her actions. Furious donors filed complaints, and our parents, desperate to salvage what was left of their dignity, refused to defend her. "You lied to us." Dad's voice was controlled, but his clenched fists betrayed his anger. "You stole from your own brother and disgraced our family." Ashley sat curled up on the couch, her once proud posture replaced by a small, pitiful figure. "I didn't mean for it to go this far," she mumbled. "I just wanted to do something big, something important." "By stealing?" Mom snapped. "By lying to everyone who trusted you." Tears welled in Ashley's eyes as she shook her head. "I was going to give it back eventually." The police weren't pressing criminal charges yet, but the social and financial ruin was already unbearable. The expensive clothes, the gifts, the admiration, everything had been stripped away. Our parents, unable to bear the shame, made a final decision. "You're on your own," Dad said firmly. "We won't be covering your tuition or bailing you out. It's time you face the consequences of your actions." Ashley's face went pale. "No, please." "No," Mom cut her off. "You took everything for granted, and now you're left with nothing." In the evening, as I approached Logan's house, I saw Ashley, who was apparently waiting for me. Ashley turned to me, desperation in her eyes. "Caden, please, help me. Don't leave me. You're my brother." I met her desperate gaze and said the words she never thought she'd hear. "You left me first. You're on your own." With that, I turned and walked away, leaving her to face the justice she had earned. I turned my back on her, for good. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.